Joining me this week is Grommy, well known for winning the 2019 Best New RuneScape Artist Golden Gnome. He's done many RuneScape related pieces over the past few years, but also has many other artworks, a couple of which you've seen on screen over the last few seconds. He's played RuneScape for nearly 15 years, and we're going to chat all about his favourite moments over that time, alongside the usual questions, so favourite boss, favourite NPC, all that jazz. We're also going to find out what he reckons Jagex might be working on, because we know they've been hiring for a while. We're also going to be going into his art and finding out all about the software he uses, hardware, how the process of creation goes for him, and what has inspired him over the years. So join me as I head into the mind of Grommy. Hello, Grommy. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Hey, how you doing?
Not too bad, not too bad. Surviving. I know you had a bit of a storm last night, but you seem to have got through it all okay.
Yeah. It's it's like polar opposite now.
It's like blissful sunshine.
Oh yeah, beautiful sunshine today.
Very nice. Well, do you remember if it was blissful sunshine when you first started playing RuneScape? And do you remember when that was?
Oh boy, that was a while ago. I'd have to say it was 2006, something like that. I was fortunate enough to be in a position where, I lived in a development where it was like just a few kids my age. A few of them were older, so basically anytime there would be like a new trend that would happen, I guess like new game, whatever we're into, they would always introduce me to it, and I'd always freak out about it because I thought it was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, you got like the head start on the trends.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And then I think when I was like 7 or 8, I went over to my friend's house and he started playing this game. He's just like clicking stuff. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, it's this game called RuneScape. I'm like, that's amazing. Yeah, and it's just, I don't know. Like my neighbor helped me make my own account. It got started from there, and I don't know. I've been back and forth with the game, but it's always been there, I suppose.
Have you got any favourite moments over your time playing? Things that stick with you?
I think the return when Elf City was released. That's probably like the best moment I can remember because I was so hyped about that. Just the fact that there was like an extension to the game being released, and I just thought that was like the coolest thing ever. Like that's what motivated me to generally like come back to the game as a whole.
And where's your username sort of come from? How's that developed?
Hmm. Oh, I guess it stemmed from a nickname I used to have. It was uh, based off of like a surname, um, and then just sort of combined like two different. I guess it was like So I used to use I forgot what it was exactly, but it was some sort of weird like PS PS Network username, and then
Okay,
I just
yeah.
yeah I took like that as well as a nickname I had in high school, and then I just mashed them two together, and somehow that came out.
And have you played old school much, or are you more RS3? What's the
Hmm. Well, all right. I've played a bit of old school. I tried. I think I got to like 40 in melee stats, and I just sort of kind of gave up on it. It felt like I like the nostalgia factor. It's definitely has its appeals. It's also an enjoyable experience. I just it's I don't know. I'm sort of used to the whole RS3 combat system and like the customizability and stuff like that. I don't know.
yeah?
I definitely see why people like both games generally.
Yeah, I'm yet to properly touch old school, but I feel like I should at some point because it is based around literally the time when I was first playing. I've taken a very big gap between those two times, but when I was first playing, it basically was 2007, so it seems only
Yeah,
right I should go back and see it.
yeah. That's it's always good to like look back on what the game used to be like, and then compare it to like this is actually like an upgraded version of what it used to be, and that's actually pretty sick.
So, have you got a favorite quest that you've got over the years, or like favorite series of quests, favorite story?
Oh, oh boy. There's so many, but I think the one that I recently loved was You Are It. Uh, I think it was called. It was like a one off like random quest. I just loved the premise of it because it was just like I think on release it was just they just left like a bloody note in your inventory, and it was just like spamming of the letters URIT, and it was just like you are it, you are it, you are it. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever because it was like a murder mystery to solve. It was probably that's like the most notable recent one. Um, Plague's End was also really good. I love that quest. And then World Wakes. That's probably like the biggest out of all of them that
Yeah.
I would say is like the most impactful that I enjoyed.
And what about NPCs and bosses? Are you much into your bossing?
Um, I used to really love raids. I was oh gosh. So Beastmaster Durzag and Yakamaru, those are my best like experiences with PVM in the game. Um, I tried to get like something really stupid. Like it was like try to get all the I think it was all the tier 90 gear from raids on an account with 10 hit points or something like that. Yeah, it was ridiculous, and I got like 6 pieces I think, and then I just gave up because no one wants to take a noob.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's hard enough to find a raids group at the best of times when you have
Oh
10
yeah.
HP. I
I
can
think
only imagine.
yeah, I think I'm actually banned from the raids FC for that. So yeah, that's fun.
And then what about a favourite, just like overworld NPC or a quest NPC?
Let's see. I think hold on. Let's scroll through that Rolodex in my mind.
There's a lot of characters to think of.
Oh yeah, there's so many. Um, what was his name? The He was like the star character in like the Diamond in the Rough. Um,
Oh. Yep. Yep. Let me
I'm blanking.
slyly open the wiki page. Dive in the rough. It's Ozan, is it?
Oh, Zen. Yes, I love that character. He's just like the thief. I guess is like the go to sort of character. I love those characters. Like that's what explains why I loved like Sly Cooper and stuff like that as a kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was so that's it's essentially like his character dynamic is he's like hilarious, but he's also like he'll just rob you blind. It's amazing.
So, what was your first 99 in the game?
As much as I love summoning, I would love to say it's my first 99. It wasn't. It was Constitution or HP, as some people know it. I don't know. I made an account a while back, and I was trying to max it, and then I just ended up somehow getting Constitution to 99 first. So I was really hyped about that. I thought it was really cool because you don't see many white capes in the game.
Yeah, it's a nice cape.
Yeah, and that one was
Very
like
nice
pretty cool.
untrimmed.
Yeah. So that's my little story. On the account I use now, it's like the first thing I got was summoning, and that's like something I've, I guess, been focusing on.
And would you say summoning is your favorite skill then?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's I essentially made an account based purely off of summoning, so that's I don't know. I just love the idea that I can summon just some random monster to either aid me in something or just
Carry your stuff,
destroy.
or
Yeah, just destroy some boss or just by spamming scrolls. It's amazing.
well, especially with the ancient summoning stuff. Have you been playing around with that much, or
Oh my god, that was like I love ancient summoning because on release day I think I spent like 5 mil on a it was
on a
on one of
pouch?
those. Yeah, it was one of the pouches, but it was the Calgarian Demon pouch, and it was the funniest thing because I was sitting in the Grand Exchange with this massive demon next to me, and everyone that walked up was just like, "What the hell is that?"
Literally 5 times your character's height, just like, oh dear.
Yeah, it was. It's just ridiculous how big that thing is. I think they said they were going to change it, but it's like it's too hilarious to just get rid of. I feel like
Yeah.
it's even worse than the Shadow Drakes.
I can only imagine what it would look like in the sorry, well, not the Combat Academy anymore, the market
Oh
in
yeah,
World 84 with
oh
just
yeah,
demons everywhere.
yeah. That would be terrible. Oh, I'm just glad they got rid of that now, so now people don't have to really deal with that because that would just be that would be terrible. Yeah, I don't know, but it's oh my god, it's the Ripper Demon is probably my favorite, and a friend of mine also loves it. Like even just seeing it, like I introduced them to the game recently, and they thought like that was like the coolest thing ever. Because Steel Titan obviously is was like the best in slot familiar prior, but
Yeah.
it's still like they both have their advantages and disadvantages, I guess. And I like that there's now like new metas within summoning, you know?
Mm, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Ripper Demons are just cool in game as well, because obviously you've got the whole one piercing note quest based around a Ripper Demon, and they hide in
Yeah.
a cave, a special, or some other
Yeah, it's
mobs.
they're they're so cool. Even the weapon that you get from them is just like just so cool. I don't know. I have a thing for like really creepy but awesome designs, and it's just the Ripper Demon is definitely up there with that.
So, obviously in RuneScape, we've got 20 odd years worth of different graphical designs. Maybe not quite 20, but a good 10, 15 years. How do you reckon they should go around like normalizing it and creating a bit more of a cohesive world?
Hmm. Well, I do like the style that they're currently going for. It's sort of like a cartoony-ish mashup between like a I guess it's like a I would say it's more like a calm version of like the World of Warcraft style, where it's like it's not too stylized, but it's also not too like I don't know too realistic in that sense.
It's a bit
Um,
soft, I guess, isn't it?
yeah, it's like it's very clean. I would say
Mm.
like nothing. I love like even just like seeing like the rock formations in the game. It's like those look so clean now. But I think generally like uh, I guess as for like making it all cohesive, I would say that they would probably have to start like adapting new areas, like either like slowly changing, updating, graphically updating new areas, or like because there's so many areas in the game currently that like they stick out like a sore thumb. It's just there's no like you see the archaeology guild now, and then you compare that to like uh
Well, Baroque, really.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
It's
like the guild is
it's
such a huge building, and then you compare it to
yeah.
like the maid shop
Um,
or the bank, and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
uh,
the the entire city of Iraq is just it's I
so
don't know
short.
yeah it's a little small.
literally like a miniature town you can walk through.
Oh yeah, it's like you surge twice and you've gone through it.
But is there one thing you would change about RuneScape?
Mm, it's a difficult question. Mm, I don't know.
There's so many like facets to the game.
Yeah,
So,
and
would you like more
I
quests or change the combat or?
I think I'm content with how the combat works. It would be nice to see like more, I guess, adaptive styles of combat because it feels like it's very everything's DPS heavy, and it would be interesting to see like I guess sort of different methods of like because there's like other games have like there's like the healer and then there's a tank, and in this case in RS it's always like you're always either DPSing or you're a tank, and it would be nice to see like more I guess variety in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only sort of. Well, I mean, even then at Virago, you just kind of have a tank and DPS,
Yeah,
right? But the game doesn't really have classes, and I guess that's something that does set it aside from other MMOs, is that everybody can do the damage.
of course, yeah, but it does give it that sense of I guess originality in that like you can essentially do whatever you want, and that is something that's pretty cool. But it would be cool to see some like just weird abilities that like can aid in combat in different ways. So
Yeah,
that would be something interesting to see.
and obviously they were trying last summer with the weapon diversity update that, well, kind of crashed and burnt a bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's an oof.
yeah, it looked like it could have been quite cool if it was well, tweaked a bit.
Oh
But
yeah,
having the different types of weapons actually make a difference would have been
yeah.
a nice
I
change.
I think I experimented even in the beta a little bit. It was really broken.
It was the broker. Was it Halberd? No, it wasn't Halberd. It was one of them that if it was like a 5x5 boss, it would hit them like insane amounts of times, and
Yeah, yeah.
like you could clear a Raxi P4 in like 2 seconds or something stupid like that.
Yeah, I think I was even able on my summoning tank to just because with even with one range I was hitting like 1,000 with bronze javelins. I was like, why is it happening? Yeah, that was a little wonky to say the least.
So, what do you reckon that Jagex have like in the pipeline? Because obviously they've been hiring for an unannounced game for a while. What do you think they're going to be trying to move towards?
Mm, I don't know, you know, because Jagex, I can never really read what they're thinking, so it's always hard to assume what they're gonna do. But like, I feel like it's definitely not going to be another Chronicle deal. We know that. But I feel like it would be cool if they like sort of just did, I guess, like remastered the game entirely. But I really doubt that is what it would be.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean that's
yeah,
the kind of thing I've seen sort of rumored as well as like RuneScape remastered. Because the
yeah,
problem they've got is anytime they've gone outside of RuneScape, they haven't exactly succeeded. Uh,
yeah. It's a shame, but it's kind of the truth, sadly.
yeah, I mean I'm not sure how Mojang are doing because obviously outside of Minecraft they tried to do a card game, but I don't know how that actually turned out. I haven't really followed them or heard their name since Minecraft, so
Yeah, I think I've only ever heard them for Minecraft, so
yeah.
it's I think it's like a battle of like association versus
Mm.
just like trying to be or adapt, I guess. So it's a struggle, but I feel like if they do have something planned, it's probably something that might pique the interest of players. I mean, who knows what it'll be, but it'll be interesting to see if it ever gets released.
So, do you have much time for other games and stuff outside of RuneScape and your artistic things? Any other hobbies you get to do?
Let's see. I mean, besides RuneScape. I mean, okay. So I've always been back and forth with RuneScape. Like I'd sometimes overwork myself and then just like switch to other games entirely, because RuneScape's a bit of a grind.
It can be at
Um,
times, yeah. I think we've
yeah.
all had that.
um, but I mean, besides from that, I think the most recent was like I started playing a lot of Rocket League, which that was pretty fun. It gets frustrating at times because it's basically RuneScape PvP, but in soccer. Uh,
I
so
do
it's
love Rocket League. I mean,
yeah,
I'm no good at it, but it's just so much fun to do with people. Like,
yeah. I always loved uh, like football in general. So it's just being able to do it virtually with a car. It's just I don't know. There's something appealing about it.
and flying and just
Oh yeah, just doing flips for no reason.
properly styling on people.
Oh yeah, I'm still learning that. I've only like played it for like a month, but
Hmm.
it's yeah. I mean, it would be fun to be able to do like some fancy stuff in that.
It's that times when you go into like an unranked game and you suddenly see on the opposing team like two champions and some grandmaster guy's like, oh well, I'm about to be absolutely wrecked here.
Oh yeah, that's
And
just
you just enjoy the show almost.
yeah. It's like you're just sitting there like watching them fly above you. It's like oh, nice.
One day I'll be up there.
Uh,
But anyway, how did you start to get into doing artwork?
um, I've I've always been like I guess an artistic individual, even when I was little. Like I guess it sort of runs in the family. My mom used to draw for me when I was like 2 or 3, and then like I would color it in. And then I think by age 5, I started just drawing my own stuff. And then it was just like it was became like a hobby over the time, like over the years. I just sort of progressively did it, and then for some reason, I found myself, I guess, understanding it easier than some others in my art classes would. I don't know what the reasoning for that is. I guess it's just like it just makes sense to me more.
Just like a natural sort of instinct for it, I guess.
Yeah, it's because I'd be sitting in a math class and I'd just be like, "What is going on?" And then we'd go to art class. I'm like, "I understand what I'm doing. This is easy." uh, but yeah, I don't know. It's as for like being really into it, I didn't get really into doing art until like 2 or 3 years ago, and I think that was when I bought a drawing tablet and I actually got into digital art. That's what
Mm.
like sparked like a major interest in it.
Are you still using that same tablet today, or?
Oh yeah. Well, the first one I got, that one I think broke. Sadly, it was like a $25 Intuos tablet.
Yeah.
So that one got. I think the pen just like stopped working entirely, and then the buttons just got all messed up. So then I bought a Huion GT 191, I think. Yeah, and it's been my main go-to uh, since then. That was I think that was gosh 4 months after I
After your
got
first one?
yeah after the first one,
Nice.
which is kind of a shame. It
Yeah,
was
I
been
mean,
a bit long.
with that sort of thing, I guess you do sort of get what you pay for, though.
Oh yeah,
Like, I know they do go up to stupid prices, obviously, where you can get like the whole monitor thing sort of built in and stuff like the Surface Studio as well.
oh yeah. The Surface Studio is like 10K. I swear that's ridiculous.
Really
Uh,
nice looking bit of kit, but
oh yeah, it is. It's beautiful, but that's way too much, dude. Like I was hesitant on buying a what was it, a Cintiq. Uh, so it's just I'm lucky I got a screen tablet
mm,
because the Cintiqs are like I think it's the cheapest one is like $700, $800, and I got mine for like 335. So
yeah, bargain.
yeah.
So, and what software is it all being processed in? What's your go-to?
Um, Originally it was Photoshop, but now I have like two go-tos, I suppose. I switch between, well, it's like when I'm using a PC, I'll use Krita, which is free. I think it's basically, and I don't know if it's open source, but it's like basically it's essentially free Photoshop is what I would basically recommend this to anyone. It's a little different in terms of like setup and how it, like all the adjustments and stuff like that you can do in it, like where they're located. That's all like weird, and you have to figure it out over time. But it essentially functions exactly the same. And then the others, it's when I'm working on iPad, I use Art Studio Pro, which is that's I usually use that for just sketching, and then I'll just like render in Krita on the PC.
So that's the general process, is it? You literally sort of sit down with your iPad, sketch some bits out, and then when you've got something you really want to work on, you transfer it over.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like it's more comfortable to just like sit there and sketch on the iPad instead of just like sitting like because you have to keep your posture really good as an artist, or else you'll be like the Hunchback in Notre Dame by the time you're 40. So yeah.
So how did you like go around finding a style? Did it kind of find you as you sort of progressed, or what was the journey?
Yeah, I think it sort of just happened. I don't know. I think it's like the culmination of just watching so many YouTube videos and just trying to adapt that to my own style, I guess, because I followed because okay, so when I got into art, basically spent like I think a year and a half just watching YouTube videos trying to reteach myself how to draw because I took a short break from it. And the fact that I had no idea how to render in uh, digital mediums didn't help. uh,
Yeah.
so, it was lots of YouTube, lots of self teaching, and then it sort of just, I guess, progressed. At the beginning, I didn't know like what brushes to use, so it was really rough. Like you can see that from the first RuneScape concept I did. It was really rough. It was like God, the brushwork was just messy. I can't even look at it now. I mean, I'm proud that like I was able to do it, but it was just it looked wonky. And now like I've sort of adapted that, and I've noticed that I like a cleaner style where it's like it's more stylized, but it's like the rendering is very like there's still like that expressive brushwork, but it's sort of just like I like to keep it clean. I don't know. There's like this weird like soft clean cleanliness that I love in the like, even like in the folds of cloth and stuff like that. It's just visually appealing to me.
So would you say you've got any like inspirations for sort of that style that you'd say you kind of have taken from?
Definitely. There's it's like okay, so there's the top three. It's like originally my style I say was influenced by actually Legend Arts, which was interesting because I would always see his stuff and then I'd be like, hey, I want to do stuff like that. Uh, and then I sort of started watching all these videos and I realized that the style I most closely enjoyed was closer to that like League of Legends, sort of like 3D rendered style.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, and then a combination of that and like an artist by the name of Dave Greco. Um, Freaking love his art. He's an amazing artist. I think he works on like multiple games. I think right now he's doing like Crowfall or something. But yeah, he's definitely a big inspiration. And then I found like inspiration in weird places like anime. Just it's like all like mishmashed together to sort of create this weird style that I have.
Any anime in particular, or just the whole overall look?
Yeah, I think it's just like the overall look. I think the newer anime style is something that like is more appealing, like something like out of I guess ReZero is something I would say that like the stylistically in
Hmm.
something I enjoy. But yeah, it's weird because at one point I wanted to be a comic artist, like working on a manga or something, but I'm like, I can't do that. I don't like line art at all. It just pisses me off. So I just, I just decided to stick with this whole painterly style.
Yeah, it's very nice. And I mean, it won you a Golden Gnome last year.
Oh yeah,
How
that
was
was
that? How was the whole well, process of finding out? I guess because obviously we all found out on the night, but you must have found out a little bit before.
well, okay. So the nomination that freaked me out because I had no idea that that would even be an option. I would I was like, what the heck is going on? And then when the actual gnomes happened, um, it just okay. So this is kind of embarrassing. I fell asleep like right before the gnomes. I was like so tired because I was working on a project. I think I was doing a commission at the time, and
Yeah.
I just like passed out. So I woke up halfway through the gnomes, and then I opened Twitter, and it's just people congratulating me. I'm like, what is going on? And then I watched the VOD back. I'm like, oh crap, it actually happened. So yeah, I had a bit of a panic attack, but that was probably like one of the happiest moments of that year. It was really awesome, and I definitely like appreciate anyone who enjoys what I do because it's we can be our worst critics, I suppose, as artists. So it's always nice to see that others can enjoy what you do.
Yeah, and appreciate it because I mean, I know one of the worst questions that I've asked other artists on here is what's your favorite piece of art because no one seems to be able to like judge their own art and they see
Yeah,
all the flaws in every single piece. So
yeah. I mean, there is one piece I'm proud of, but I think it's purely because it's hung up in the Jagex studio right now, and that's the Anachronia piece I did.
yeah,
Um, that's but like I don't know, it's weird because I'll look at it one day and I love it, and then the next day it's just like ugh.
you start seeing things that you change and it's like
Oh
no.
yeah, it's like what was I doing? Oh my god. Yeah, it's just funny because like I don't know, I guess, but hindsight is 2020, I guess, right?
Yeah, indeed. So have you done any like collabs with other artists in the community?
Hmm. I have. Oh yeah. Wait. Oh yeah. Okay. So there was that one big collab that I did with. Uh, it was Zuhar and Seven Sleeper, I think. We did that piece for Mod Matt K when he left.
Hmm.
So that was probably like the the most known collab I did with the other artists. It was really fun to do. It's nice to see like a weird combination of like three completely different styles in one piece, but like it still somehow feels cohesive.
So how did you
Um,
like decide on sort of which piece each of you is going to do?
we sort of just like went for it. It was like, all right, what do you want to do? Uh, so I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll just do one that K because I feel like I would be better at drawing a dude from I don't know, just like I feel like I'm better at drawing like people not wearing full suits of armor from the
Right.
back.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. It's armor is really difficult, especially from the back, and you have to like I don't know. I feel like those two are better at it objectively, um, especially like in their style, it makes more sense. I would probably just ruin it, honestly. But yeah, it was just like something I had some ideas on what we could do, particularly for like the two like mini uh, pieces in that piece. So I wanted to like add like subtle differentiation between the two matte Ks, I guess, and yeah, it ended up working out.
Would you say you've got any tips for anyone that's just starting to get into art? Anything that you would advise them to look at or to do?
Um, hmm. Well, all right. So when you're starting out, or you're sort of learning the process, definitely do a lot of studies. You can find pretty much anything on YouTube these days. Don't try not to go specifically for like specific tutorials if you're trying to learn like particular things, because everything is to be taken like with a grain of salt. It's more so conceptual than anything. So it's more so just like learn from observation, try and draw what you see, um, and honestly, just enjoy yourself. If you're not having fun, that's probably like the worst feeling that you can have while doing art. Because I've had times where I wasn't having any fun, and it drags on, and you feel like you're doing worse and worse, and it's not good for you, and it's not good for your mental health. So I think it's like prioritize enjoyment over the process, even if it's something that isn't particularly enjoyable.
So make sure you're enjoying what you do. Very
Pretty much.
very important thing. Are you currently doing commissions? Are they open?
Yeah. Have I think I just finished. Was it the fifth one? So that was. I had like a big batch, so it was a little stressful because I had a bunch of people messaging me all at once, and I was kind of panicking. But luckily, with quarantine, I have a lot more time now.
Yes. It is good for us creative types having a bit more time at home and
Yeah.
mucking around and doing stuff. So they're still going to be open for people when this goes out, or
Yeah, most likely. Uh, I probably won't be closing them for a couple months. So
awesome. So I know you've dabbled with a bit of streaming. I think I saw you streaming Rocket League the other day. How do you
mhm.
find that? And obviously you've got some like speed paints on your YouTube as well. Although they're about a year or so old, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, I I used to do speed paints. I haven't touched them since. It's because Camtasia was just I don't know. I ran out of free trials, I suppose. As for streaming, I mean, I just do it because it's fun. Um, I always liked like having a conversation with others while I'm either playing games or drawing on stream. It's fun to do stuff with others rather than just alone all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but of course, there is like times when it's like, all right, I need to focus, you know. Um, but if I'm just messing around, want to have a bit of fun, it's always good to, turn on the stream. Though lately it's been a bit of a struggle because my upload's been like point 0.1.
Just up and down all over the place.
Yeah,
That is a problem with quarantine because everyone's at home using the internet.
yeah, it's kind of frustrating, honestly.
Yeah, because and you took part in the GameBlast Weekend this year, didn't you? I think.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
That was fun. I love that. I think I did like a little dragon illustration for that. I do like a yearly thing where it's like drawing dragons for charity, and I think I think I raised 50 or 100, something like that. I'm not sure,
nice.
but yeah. Regardless, it was a fun time, and it was nice to see people stop by, say hello,
I guess it's
and
probably kind of nice for
contribute.
you seeing how your style's changed over the years, looking back at all these different dragon pictures you've done as well.
Oh yeah, it's the first one was just I kind of cringe looking at it now because that was actually the first dragon I ever drew, which that oh god, oh boy. Um, but yeah, now I'm sort of like understanding how it works, how to like adapt to particular styles, and like I guess I just understand the process more now, so it's sort of easier for me to understand.
And the
And
anatomy of a
just
dragon, I suppose, as
oh
well.
yeah, yeah, the anatomy, dude. It's annoying because there's so many types of dragons that like in RuneScape it's completely different from every other I guess interpretation of a dragon, so it's just so difficult to adapt. Like I didn't understand the whole bone structure from when I was doing like the masterwork dragon back in I think it was 2019 or 2018, I don't remember. um, yeah, that just that was a struggle, but it was still fun, you know. It's a learning process.
Is it the short tails? Is that the main difference with RuneScape
um
dragons? I'm just trying to think in my head what the like
I think
actual.
it's 'cause the wings aren't attached to the arms in a sense. Like, because
Ah,
you look at
okay.
Skyrim, the,
Yeah.
the the wings are the arms, and then like you have RuneScape with like
With separate limbs.
yeah, it's like a dog with wings, and it's like okay, this is weird. I don't understand this.
If pigs could fly.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I've covered everything that I had to go through. So thank you very much for coming on. Have you got any shout outs you'd like to make to anyone?
Um. I guess shout out the RuneScape art community. A bunch of very awesome people. I'm very quiet in that Discord, so I don't interact with many people. But it's just everyone I've talked to is really cool and really nice. On it, and other than that, like anyone who has supported me over the years, I just big thanks to you. Um, oh, and thanks to my friend Flair, who actually was the reason why I actually started doing RuneScape art in the first place. He was the one who convinced me to post that first Steel Titan redesign, and sort of stemmed from there.
Alright, lovely. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll be back same time next week with a new guest. Just look out in the week for the review video. See you all later.